Hey guys, it's Anna here at Dee's, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a fun fall floral grapevine wreath. It's got a nice mix in there, so if you want to leave it out through Halloween, you can, and it's not that hard to make. My favorite part of it are these burlap pumpkins, and they come 3 on a stem, and that's the part I think is kind of fun. It just adds a little bit of whimsy to the wreath, and it looks really cute mixed in with floral. So I've chosen a medium-sized grapevine here. This is the size that's most popular for us because it fits really great on a front door, and it can also fit between a storm door, so it's really nice to use. And I'm going to start out by putting the 3 pumpkins in first, all in one piece, and that's really nice to be able to do that. I just fluff them out a little bit, pull on their wires so they're a little bit more bouncy and spread out, and I'm going to go on and glue that in first. We posted a picture on Facebook of this wreath completed as well, and you guys really liked it, so we're just going to do a tutorial on it. But if you wanted to look at the wreath first, just scroll back and you'll see the picture. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue onto the bottom of the stem, and then this is going to be the first thing I put in, and everything else is going to go around it. So kind of the bottom, around 7 o'clock on your wreath is where I'm going to put this one, so it's at an angle, it's not right in the center, and then I can move these pumpkins around because they're wired. The other thing I've selected for this wreath that's really pretty are these pumpkin mixed berry stems. I like these kind of shorter things because they have a lot going on, and it makes it so you don't need to get a stem of berries, a stem of leaves, and a pumpkin it's all in one piece. So I'm going to put this in next, and I'm going to do one kind of up this way and one down this way. So then I have a nice spot where I've glued these pumpkins in that my bow can go. So let's see here. I'm just going to do a little glue. And then put it right about there. And these are all wired as well, so feel free to move them around, move your pumpkin a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and put both of those in after I fluff them first, and then add the rest of the pumpkins and leaves. So again, I'm going to do this one kind of down here, right about here, leaving a little bit of a gap for my bow, which I'm going to put on here in a few steps. But just go ahead and push it down in between the grapevine. Make sure you have enough glue on it so it's really secure, and then you can move it around. It's nice too because if you put it in there and you realize, oh, I don't want it there, I want to move it down, you can move it a little bit before the glue sets. All right. All right, next I'm going to add in some more pumpkins. So I've got one more stem here, and I've just cut it apart so I can put them in one by one. So I'm just going to put glue on the ends. I'm going to do one over here. And again, the wire makes it so you can kind of pull it out. I'm going to do one over here. And then this one that's a little shorter, I'm going to do kind of in the front here. And I always step back and make sure I like where they are, see if I want to move one. But I kind of like that it's kind of still off to the side, but they look cute. And normally I do the bow very last, but this time I'm going to do the bow next. So then when I add my more airy stuff like berries and leaves, I can kind of fill in around the bow. So with the bow for this one, I chose the black and white check. And then I'm going to put a little bit of green on top of it. And I'm going to make that like we normally do, where I leave one tail going up. I'm going to make a couple loops. I might do 3 on this one, so just make your loop, make them all 3 the same size. And then just go ahead and cut that so the roll of ribbon's out of your way. And then I take the green next, right on top, same thing, little tail going up. So it's just right on top of the black and white, and then I'm going to make a couple loops of this. Lots of times too, before I wire it, I just kind of hold it up, make sure I've made my loops the right size and I have enough of them. That way, before you wire it, if you want to change it, you can just drop it and redo your bow. But now I'm just going to take a little cloth covered wire, tie them together. And I'm going right in between the two shorter pumpkin stems. And I'm just going to tie it on. And then, of course, cut your ribbon ends so they're nice and pretty and finished off. And then you can move your ribbon around behind the pumpkins. I like to sometimes, take it around the stem, so then it just doesn't lay really flat. And then another little trick too that's nice is if you a lot of times you'll see them on wreaths, instead of having the tail just fall flat like that, if you just roll it back on itself and pull the end out, you'll get those little curls you see a lot of times. And that's what's so nice about wired ribbon. Okay, so now I've got the bow on, and I'm going to add in some berries. The real reason I'm doing berries is because they hide things really well. So like right here, I can see where I've attached my pumpkin, there's a little bit of glue. And I'm going to take a berry stem and just stick it all in one piece and spread it around. These are nice, they're crab apples, they're weatherproof, so they do great outside. They won't pop like a lot of berries will. And I'm just going to put the hot glue on there, stick it in there all in one piece again, just fluffed out, and then move them where I want them. And then I have another stem of them. I'm going to do it this way. So as you can see, that stem started out really large, and I like to cut it into 2 pieces. And that gives you just a little bit more control about where things are going to go. So I'm going to bend that one, and I'm going to go over on this side. Just kind of push it in there behind your bow. That bow's good to hide stuff. And then that one that I cut in half, I have another piece I can do, and I'm going to do it kind of below the bow. So then it doesn't look like the bow's just stuck on there. There's stuff all around it. So just go underneath of your bow and push it into the wreath. The last thing I chose for this wreath that I think helps make it a little bit brighter and not so dreary for fall is this greenery that goes with the berries and the ribbon. And I always like to add this kind of airy stuff in there because it just makes the wreath a little bit bigger without making it too full. So on one like this, I am going to cut it apart because I don't want it to be one big branch all in there. So I'll just cut the stem up in a few places. It's nice and wired. So I can easily go and take this behind everything and add it in. The nice thing about these kind of stems is you can put them in first if you want, and they won't be too much in your way. Or like I'm doing, you can just add them in last, and it adds a nice pop of a color without, again, making it too full or dense. But I like that pop of the green in there with it. Go. Whenever I do on the top left side, I'm also kind of doing on this lower right. And I just keep going until I like the look of it. And with an airy stem like this too, you can always grab another stem. If you feel like you want it longer, this is great to make it taller, or coming down this way too, and it's just a nice way to add some color in there. And again, I'm gonna look for my little tails that have kind of gotten tucked, but it's wired so they'll come right out. And I'm good to go. I've already attached a hanger onto the back with just a pipe cleaner. And it's an easy wreath to do real quick. All you need is some hot glue and some wire cutters. And make sure to stay tuned. This is the first of many fall videos we're going to be doing for this year. Watch us on Facebook and check us out on Instagram.